Welcome to Champ Talk with Branden Hudson. I am your host, Branden Hudson. This is a special Champ Talk today because I will be without my co-host, old Chet Cornman. Chet has come down with some sort of flu or something going on. I hate to say the C word, but it could be that. But anyhow, Chet, we hope you get better. We miss you, and we look forward to getting back in the saddle. But anyway, guys, if you get value from this episode or you think that somebody would, make sure you share that with them. Go to our YouTube channel, go to our Facebook channel, Facebook page, go to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a review, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff that helps us get to the top of feeds and helps people be able to search for our podcast a lot easier. And you know, all we're trying to do is give out free content and just help people along the way and entertain at the same time. But this episode of Champ Talk with Branden Hudson is brought to you by SBY MMA and Fitness, your place for your combat sports need. So I'm gonna get right at it. I'm gonna see if I can get canceled on this episode or see if I can piss off some people or ruffle some feathers. But it's been something that's been on my mind for quite some time that has just been driving me crazy, dude. Driving me absolutely crazy. And it's one of those things where if you don't know what you're looking at, you won't see it. But if you do see through the bullshit and you do know what you're looking at, you're going to certainly recognize it every chance you get. And every other place I go, every other social media outlet, every other turn, every other person, they try to sell you on this idea of this modern man, right? This modern day, what a man is supposed to be like, okay? And before you guys attack me with the gender stuff, I'm not getting into all that. I'm just talking about a simple, this marketing ploy of what you think a modern man is supposed to look like, right? And it's good and bad. There are some great things about this movement and about what what people are trying to say and sell you on. Obviously there's a huge need for the male representation in the household, a huge need for the male representation in children's lives, a huge need for men raising other men and helping produce leaders and champions and people that you can go to and look up to and model your behavior, model your actions by. At the same time, it's overdone. It's oversold. It's a crock of bullshit, in my opinion, by a lot of these so-called, men or modern men that are trying to sell you on these things because it's an act, right? It's an act. Now, hear me out, right? And I'm going to dive deep, and there's many layers to this. So, you can comment, you can say what you want, hate on it, whatever. That's fine. You can add value. That'd be even better. But I'm going to dive in deep on like all these layers of what I'm trying to talk about and convey here. Part of this is this bullshit because, people are doubling down. Guys are doubling down on this modern day man and what he's supposed to be like and what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to represent and how he's supposed to step up and all this stuff. But then they don't live up to the same standards that they're trying to talk about, right? They don't live up to the same standards and the same examples as what they say they're talking about. So, but they want to preach to everybody and tell everybody how they want to live and then sell you some fucking course or sell you some fucking coaching thing or some old bullshit that, that there's a pitch behind it or some sort of gimmick, right? And again, I'm not against the whole coaching, the whole, digital products to help get you to where you need to be, the masterminds. I'm pro all that stuff. I think that's a great thing. What I am against is I'm against this fucking facade that motherfuckers like to sell you on to try to make you believe that they know what a modern man looks like when they have no clue on what they're doing or how they're living, or it's a lie, it's a facade. You got people, famous people that want to, they make very good points, right? I got a couple that come to mind. They make very good points on some of the things they talk about, but the way that they go about it and how they exemplify themselves as the modern day man and what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do is just bullshit, right? It's an act. It's kind of similar to rap music, right? I love hip hop. I've always loved hip hop. I've always been a fan. I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, the era where, you had the Pac, the Bigs, running into the Jay-Z's, the Nas, all that, all the way up into like the Dipset era and 50 Cent and things like that. And it was a great era of rap music, And I still love hip hop. But you could tell which artists were really from the streets and talking the street life and talking the thing that they were really about, and which artist was really trying to oversell you on how many bodies they've got in the streets and how many bags they sold, and they're from some fucking suburbia Maryland, or excuse me, suburbia America, and trying to sell you on this gang life and shit. And a lot of the rap now, you know what I mean, well, it's always been like that, but a lot of it now is like just highlighted on this lifestyle, on this act, this facade that, you know, it's all about the gangster life, you know what I mean? And I don't remember rap being like that for me. You know, rap always was like, you know, hey, we're trying to get out of something. We're trying to look forward to something. We're trying to build up to something. Yes, it glamorized, you know, bitches and hoes. Yes, it glamorized drug dealing and gangster life. It did glamorize that. But it also had a message and a meaning behind it for me, right? It's kind of how the same thing with this modern male role model is, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, you gotta be the David Goggins, and I love Goggins. You gotta be, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You can't do this, you can't do that. But then nobody's living up to that. And then we act as if today in this age, we're not supposed to be, we're supposed to be flawless. Like none of us are going to fucking make mistakes. I assure you I'm going to make mistakes. I assure you're going to make mistakes. You know, we have this sensationalized way of looking at and viewing the world as we're all supposed to be like Jesus and walk on water, and nobody's supposed to have any, you know, skeletons in their closet, or nobody's supposed to make any mistakes as we go by. And then that's a whole nother podcast we could talk about, because then you're talking about the whole cancel culture bullshit, which is bullshit. You know what I mean? You're talking about how, you know, oh, well, you know, if I say something offensive, get canceled, as long as I apologize, I'm okay. And that's okay. And so now we're forgiving you for your bull. It's fucking stupid, dog. It's fucking stupid, right? And I'm gonna air my opinions about it because I think it's fucking ridiculous on this whole big old fucking smoke screen of what everyone's supposed to be and who we're supposed to be like and what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And then you got these guys doubling down on trying to tell you, on trying to sell you on how to be a man. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give a couple of arguments. I'm going to give the good, the bad, the middle, and then I'm going to share my perspective of what I think. The other side of it is there's a bunch of you weak motherfucking males out here that don't want to step up and need somebody to tell you how to be a man, right? So there is a need for this example, right? I'm not trying to say that there's not a need for this modern day male or this male role model or so on and so forth. There is a need for that, right? But you don't need to be told how to fucking brush your teeth or how to live your fucking life, dude. You need to get your fucking ass up and just go out here and take action and connect with people and actually bend the knee in a lot of ways to people that are doing it bigger and better than you, or doing it more successful than you, or doing it before you, right? And so it's so complicated because there is a good message behind this, you know, what becoming a man is, but at the same time, it's bullshit. You know, I know guys here locally, right? Coaches locally, gym owners locally, try to sell you on this being a man shit, sell you on this anti-bully program bullshit, right? Which, you know, I'm conflicted about the bullying thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. By no means do I think it's good to bully kids or anything like that, you know, or bully anybody for that matter. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Who's trying to make a bunch of money and living off of this bullshit, right? It's all about this. It's all about these ulterior motives, it seems like. There can never be just no authenticity and no substance. But anyway, got somebody that goes on a public forum, a public group in Facebook, you know, here locally, looking for a place for their kid because their kid, you know, is into, you know, anime and into, you know, things that, you know, nerds, so to speak. Okay, let's just say for lack of better talk, the nerdy kids, which obviously the nerdy kids are in, and they come in here and they're getting bullied in school. And now they're looking for an outlet, right? You know, so this one dude, he gets on there, he talks about how he's anti-bullying and he's for everybody and this, that, and third, but he jumps right out there and says, oh, your kid's a pussy. That's why you know, he needs to be here anyway. You need to step it up. That's not how you invite somebody to your gym. You know, or he'll go on here and bash other schools or bash other people or be a bully online, but they don't think it's bullying because it's not flushing your head down the toilet. So it's like, okay, you're talking this anti-bullying, stick up for yourself, but then you contradict yourself in the same fucking breath online doing the same bullshit that you're used to doing. It's this modern day male role figure that everybody's trying to sell you on, but they're not living up to the shit that they try to sell you on. They're not living up to the stuff that they're trying to get you to buy, right? It's only fitting for their agenda, right? And, you know, you have so many of these characters and so many of these examples out here that do this. You know, they try to tell you, you know, they try to belittle women or put women in their place and they should know their role, because they might be sensitive about maybe the feminist movement, or they might be sensitive about something that a woman has done to them before, most likely. So now they categorize all women. Well, I got 3 daughters and my mama and my grandmama and my wife and all that. I'm not trying to hear that bullshit. You ain't telling my daughter to go mind her place. Hey, I don't give a fuck what man on this earth wants to think he knows something. He ain't gonna tell my daughter to go mind her place. Now she'll deal with that and learn that part of life and that side of life with her own partner and her own man. Not coming from some dickhead off the fucking internet trying to say you need to learn your place and know your role. I don't buy that shit. I don't buy into that shit. Just as much, there's really good points that these guys and gals make, but it's not necessarily. It doesn't sit in vibe. Because the example that people make online as this anti-bullying hero, or this modern day male with the male makeup of the big beard and every male looks the same nowadays. It's like I'm not anti-beards. Don't come at me, but come on, you know what I mean? Like, I got a real weak chin. Ain't nobody gonna lie. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about my chin. It's a real weak chin. I don't need a real big beard to cover up my face. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it just seems like it's the cookie cutter example all across the board, trying to sell us on how to become a man. I can tell you how to become a man, right? I can tell you how to be a real man. First of all, buy into some old traditional values, right? Buy into some old school traditional values. Instead of trying to find somebody on fucking line that you want to idolize, or some fucking loudmouth that fucking, that wants to talk shit and bully people, on social media, go find somebody in your own fucking community, dude. There are pastors, teachers, reverends, police officers, coaches, regular neighborhood guys. There's so many people in your fucking family that you are tuning out and turning off because you want to be sold on some fucking likes and comments and shares and shit, and you want to be sold on followers opposed to sold on wisdom. That old school traditional wisdom has been around forever, and it's carried on for centuries. Is it perfect? No. Could it use some tweaking and some upgrading? Absolutely, right? But that old school wisdom, that old school values, doing old school things, cliche things you hear, doing to others is doing to you. You know what I mean? Never bite the hand that feeds you. These things that we've grown up with, that we're so used to and accustomed to, that shit's been going on for centuries, dude, and it fucking works. It always comes back down to the same practices. Have you ever noticed that, like, personal development is basically what it says in the Bible, or it says in other religious, manuscripts? I haven't studied any, so I'm not going to go too deep in them, but most of them all kind of say the same kind of philosophies, love one another, do good, share the gospel, things like that. All personal development is the same things that come from the Bible, right? It's just, you say Bible and stuff like that, or religion, it throws people off. But really, it's all the same shit. Nobody is coming up with no new content here. Nobody's coming up with nothing new to say. It's all recycled stuff. Even myself, it's all the same recycled stuff, just said in a different way, with a different combination of words that can help unlock something in your brain to get you to take action and have aha moments and change your life and improve your life. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So there's traditional values and traditional, morals and stuff. They're right there at your fingertips. They're in your family. They're in your church. They're in your neighborhood. They're at your work. You're just tuned out to them. You're not listening. You're not looking for the signs. You get right back on your phone. You get right back on social media, and you look at the shit that's sensationalized. And again, I'm all about social media. I'm all about marketing and promotion. But you got to know what's fucking real and what's fucking fake, dude. And I got flack on this, right? Because I say a lot of things when it comes to men, right? To males. I have an issue with men and males that throw PTSD out there loosely, and it would be the reason of all their problems when they've never been in combat. They've never served or been in combat. They've never, I know a lot of police officers and state troopers and things like that we train and we deal with that have seen some fucking horrendous stuff. That's PTSD. You know what I mean? I've seen, there's some men that have been through some real trauma. I mean, shit, you can even say guys are on the streets and inner neighborhoods, like places that are really, really bad that, or you can't drive through, have PTSD. A therapist one time tried to say that I had a form of it because of all the, shit that I saw growing up. And I heard her, and I understood what she was saying, but I quite didn't buy into it because, yes, I had dealt with a lot of stuff and I'd taken a lot of stuff on the chin, but I couldn't compare my trauma, my PTSD, quote unquote, and for those that listen, I'm using air quotes, to a police officer that comes to the scene of a crime, of a heinous crime that you don't know the details. They're not read out in public because they're so bad. Or somebody that's served in Afghanistan or served in a war that has had to make some really bad decisions, like some of my friends have told me, you know what I mean, on what they had to do or what they seen or what they went through. You know what I mean? I can't compare that. But there are men out here that try to say they got PTSD because, some therapists have sold them on they've had trauma because they were bullied in middle school, or, because, their daddy left them when they were young or something that's not as extreme as that. And they go and hang their hat on it. And then they add, then you have others that have the depression and the anxiety excuse, right? And again, anxiety and depression are real. Because I know what happens is when I say this shit, people dissect every word that I say instead of listening to the whole content. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying none of these things are not real or not issues, right? They're certainly issues. They're certainly real. But it's overprescribed and overdiagnosed. ADHD, anxiety, fucking, depression, all this shit is overprescribed and people buy into it and they hang their they hang their fucking hat on it. And that's why they have no action. That's why they limit themselves from moving out of mom and dad's house. That's why they don't want to get off video games. That's why they don't want to go out here and make connections and join a combat sports gym or get into the gym or anything. It's the same fucking thing. And then when alcohol and drugs are induced and involved, now they can hide through that facade and be something that they're not. So that's a big issue with our men. And I can't respect a man who comes into my gym, wants to sign up, and he's tried to sign up multiple times, or excuse me, he's told me he's going to sign up multiple times, but yet he always has this excuse because he's broke, or because, he's got anxiety or he's got depression. And I'm like, dude, I see you in the fucking bars every weekend. That doesn't add up. That doesn't add up. So where I'm getting at with this is hanging your head on this fucking, this excuse of some sort of, diagnosis that, and we can go tinfoil hat with this. We can go rabbit hole with this, but I'm just going to speak it how I see it. All of the completely overprescribed and the whole medical field, you know what I mean? The whole institution as far as, you know what I mean? What am I looking for? The prescription drugs and, the all of it, dude. All of it. It's just all one big cycle to keep you fucking paying money. You won't even go further. The foods that you eat, the foods that you're sold, the content you fucking consume, all of the things that average majority of the people are stuck doing is a reason to why you're inside of this big system of, this hamster wheel of why you don't feel good and why you don't want to take action, right? So that's another side of it is another example of what I'm seeing out of these weak men, right? And why this movement resonates with so many people is these weak men will sit here and have families, right? Have wife, kids, or husband, kids, whatever, and we'll sit here and make it all about your fucking self. Make it all about you. Well, I'm depressed. This is why I can't help my family. Well, I'm disabled. This is why I can't help my family. Well, I got this going. I'm on disability. Excuse me, not disabled. I'm on disability. I gained a bunch of weight. I lost my way. It's not working. Yo, shut the fuck up. Yo, be a fucking man. You're leading your family. You're doing things by action. It's not supposed to happen right away, motherfucker. You didn't get so fucked up overnight. You got fucked up over a course of time. Well, guess what? You're probably going to take you a little bit before you get unfucked up. You know what I'm saying? But you put your family first. Put your kids first. Put your wife first. Put their needs ahead of yours like you claim you have been doing. And you see it all the time. They let whatever things they can do to get in the way of why they don't want to take action. And there's tons of other excuses, guys, on this, video games. Video games is another big one, dude. I'm not anti-video games. I think video games are great. I'm anti-spending 5-6 hours a day playing fucking video games. It ain't healthy. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You have a video game addiction or pornography. That's another one. You know, I'm not anti-porn. You know what I mean? I am anti-fucking violating of people's rights and you know, shit, on Monday, it's hard for me to think right now. Sex trafficking. I'm anti-sex trafficking. I'm anti-fucking, you know, revenge porn. Look, if you want to go on and make money and get a video shot of you having sex, and that's what you want to choose to do, by all means, do your thing, right? I'm not anti that. But if you're violating somebody, I'm 100% anti. And there's a big thing with some of these companies like Pornhub. They're going through a lot of lawsuits because of all the stuff on there. Anyway, I digress. But if that's what you're going to every single day, right? And that's what you can't get enough of as a man, video games, pornography, social media. Of course you're going to be weak. Of course you ain't going to have fucking balls. Of course you ain't going to be able to have the ability to communicate with someone or go join a gym or go improve your life because you're fucking stuck in a fucking digital world that's not real. It's not fucking real. This other movement about how this other topic about how, you know, women, they have so many options because their DMs are flooded with men, so they don't and they don't look at the male as equal because, you know, if I don't have this, that, and a third, she doesn't like me. When the fuck did women ever just jump in front of men that were courting them in the history of time and say, yes, Sir Lancelot, you have the longest dick of the world. You are the most amazing, charming man. You said you liked me first time and I'm ready to go and be with you for life. Get the fuck over yourselves, man. Are you kidding me? It's the cat and mouse game. It's the cat. You ain't supposed to get a fucking layup the first time you ask a girl out on a date. As a matter of fact, rejection is good for your ass. It's really good for your ass to be able to build up the callus to learn how to communicate, maybe learn how to talk to a woman and listen, opposed to try to talk about your fucking, how you peaked at high school, fucking like Al Bundy and shit. Dude, so many of these little examples as to why men can't be men and why they can't, you know, oh, and I got trauma and I went through this. Welcome to fucking America, motherfucker. We all got fucking trauma. We've all been through some shit. We've all got a poor me American story where my daddy didn't love me and my girlfriend left me and my dog cheated on me and all this other bullshit, right? Like, bro, grow the fuck up. But you run, and I'm not mad at you for going through this, right? I'm not judging you for going through this. I'm just explaining to you, like, it's time to grow the fuck up and take some action to do something differently because what you're doing isn't fucking working. But I'm not mad at you for that. What I'm mad at is you buy any fucking dude that's selling you this male role model dream, right? And these motherfuckers are not leaders. They're not who they say they are. Check their receipts. Look it up. You know what's funny? It's so funny because everybody thinks they're a detective now because everybody has Google and everybody has social media, right? So what everybody does is everybody goes to YouTube or Google or social media and does their homework, quote unquote, to try to figure out what this person's background and receipts are and all this stuff. And everybody thinks they're outsmarting everybody because, oh, I saw this video in 1972. Oh, I saw this. And you think you know something, right? But really doing a real dive into these people's resumes, into these people's receipts, these people that you want to follow. And look, if somebody's giving you something that's going to help improve your life, that's awesome. Great. Even if it's fucking baloney or they're full of shit. Look, by all means, grab onto what you can. But careful what hill you die on. Careful what hill you want to die. We see this in politics all the time. We see people's lives ruined because they want to die on the hill of their political party or candidate that they want to win, right? Newsflash. I don't know many politicians that are telling the truth. I don't know many politicians that aren't controlled by some sort of influence. It's been like that long before social media came out, long before we started getting hip to it, right? Hopefully we'll see change. I'm a firm believer that we will see change one day. But at the end of the day, nothing's changed in my backyard. I've been alive since Ronald Reagan. 1981 was when I was born. I still have to get my clothes on in the morning, go to work, coexist with my fellow people, and take care of mine. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Now, there's been some impacts, you know what I mean, on the economy and impacts on, you know, have things, you know, yes, of course there's been things have changed, but you get what I'm saying. I just got to wake up and do the same shit every day. it doesn't matter to me who's in office. I have to go up and go out here for mines. I have to go get mine and take care of mine and do me before I can do anybody else and worry about anything else. And if you're really so worried about politics, motherfuckers, why don't you get into them? If you're such experts, why don't you get into them? Why don't you get into politics? Stop talking about it, bitching about it, dying on the hill of whatever candidate you think's right or wrong. Get into them. And it's both sides, the right, left, in between. It's all of it, dude. It's the same shit. And again, I'm not anti anything. I'm just telling you that shit don't matter when you're trying to be a man, when you're trying to take care of your own family, you're trying to lead. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. But be careful who you follow when you're buying into this male role model shit and this modern male and try to, emulate these guys and gals. Andrew Tate's a big one, right? I did a podcast when he got arrested and I was very vocal about the same kind of topic about Andrew Tate. And I said some things based upon what I saw, he got arrested for whatever, right? Him and his brother. And, I didn't really agree with his ways of going out about how he talks about women and this movement and things like that, right? But at the same time, it's like, if there are men that can follow him, and whether he's guilty or innocent, that's not for me to say. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say this guy is or isn't, and I'm not going to say, he's totally wrong, totally right. He makes a lot of good points. I don't think the way he goes about it, I don't agree with that, right? But some of you motherfuckers, boy, y'all literally walk around with Andrew Tate's dick in your mouth. Like you literally walk around like he is your fucking Lord and Savior, right? Yo, what if he's guilty? Not saying he is. What if he's guilty? That's who you're dying. That's the house you're dying on. And the same point, what if he's innocent? Some of you guys just completely were Andrew Tate fans. All of a sudden, back just no. Where's the realness? Where's the authenticity? Where's ride with yours when you need to? Right? You see the conundrum we're in. This isn't about Andrew Tate. This is about you supported him when he was on top. Now he's in trouble. You're either going to support something that you don't agree with, or you're going to support somebody that's guilty of some heinous shit. How does that make you look? You'll forget that shit. See, I'm man enough to say that some of the things I said on the podcast about him were not necessarily accurate, and I probably shouldn't have said those things. That's fine. I could say I made a mistake. I jumped the gun. I read what everybody else read. Who knows if he's guilty? It doesn't look like it. Doesn't know. I don't know. It's not my fight. I don't know the guy. Don't care. But at the same time, if I said something, I could retract it and be a man and say, hey, man, probably shouldn't have jumped on that podcast. My point wasn't about Andrew Tate. My point was about how people follow anybody. But you guys do it. You guys do it at your fucking local MMA gym. You guys will believe whatever somebody who can choke you out will tell you. It's the craziest thing in the world. You will believe anything that anybody will say and swear that this guy or gal is like the next fucking Yoda or some shit. Bro, they just know MMA. They just know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That don't mean they know life. I've seen so many cheese dick fucking Jiu-Jitsu guys talk all this dumb shit about how, the life, this, and that's what they're supposed to do, this, that, and the third, and then they get fucking insanely wasted, make fucking horrible mistakes, horrible choices, and act like shit never happened. Beat their fucking wives, fucking go out here and fucking rip people off. Like, I've seen it all. I've seen so many examples of this shit where people try to pretend that they're who they are. But that's why I'm so vocal as a gym owner on social media and online, because you can pull my receipts. There's not nothing that you can't find out about me that you don't already know. It's public knowledge. You can look up my record and see the things that I've done. You can ask around. You can see me in the public. You can talk to me. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm flawed. What I'm saying is I put myself out there so that, hey, whoever wants to see it can see it. You know who you're trusting yourself and your children with when you come into my gym and we fucking participate in combat sports and grow as humans. And I utilize combat sports as a vessel of personal development. Others do differently. Whatever. That might work for them, but I'm sitting here building leaders. I'm working on building champions. These little kids, these members of mine, they hold me accountable to live at the same standard that I preach. And that even goes even further. It's like, I see in the jiu-jitsu community, this will piss people off. I see in the jiu-jitsu community a bunch of like fucking white belts and blue belts and purple belts wanting to change the way jiu-jitsu's done forever, right? And they've got this spin on it, like, because, you're excited about it, and you're in your first 4 years of jiu-jitsu, 3 years of jiu-jitsu, and this is exciting. And then you listen to every podcast and do all these things, and all of a sudden now you want to change everything. So what happens is, if you're in this game long enough, you'll see everybody want to change it and all this controversy and talking this, that, and the third about how belts ain't shit and this and that ain't this and you ain't this and they ain't that and all this. Jiu-Jitsu community is one of the most gossipy, backstabbing communities I've ever been a part of. But they talk all this crazy shit because based upon their own personal development or personal accord, and then they'll turn around and be gone in the next 2 years and quit. Or they'll come back to the old school traditional values. See how we circled back? See how I did the weave? We brought it back to the old school traditional values of jiu-jitsu and what it really meant. It's really supposed to be a self-defense. It's supposed to be a thing that helps people. And it's not supposed to have egos and all these other things. But people will just dissect so many things with so many different perspectives because they just want to be right about something they don't know shit about. Like, truly. It takes 10 years to become an expert at anything. It takes 20 years to be at mastery level. Right? So at the end of the day, just because you're hopped up and excited about something for the first, year, 2 years, 3 years, put some time in. Go through the peak, go through the valley, go back to a peak, go back to another valley, and then see how you can stay consistent through the entire thing. But to reel it back in, I'm so incredibly tired of hearing about this modern era man on what a modern era man's supposed to be doing and stuff like that by people that are not selling you on shit that they don't live by and don't do, or they contradict themselves, whether it be a gym owner, whether it be an online figure, whether it be somebody in your church and your family, all of them, they're everywhere, right? They're everywhere. It's like your drunk uncle that wants to tell you how to live life, but can't get his shit together, can't, stay off drugs, can't stop beating his wife, can't hold a job, things like that, right? That ain't a dig at none of my uncles, so don't get mad at me. I'm not talking about my own uncles, okay? But you understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna leave you with some tokens, some pieces of knowledge, right? That are gonna help you guys. That you're saying, hey, Branden, where do I go? Who do I follow? You know what I mean? Are you selling me on following you? Not at all. I'll be more than happy to help anybody I can. Of course, I'm here. I'm a coach. I do a lot of things. I do things with real estate. I do a lot of things. Of course, I would love to help you, but I'm not trying to sell you on me. I'm trying to sell you on the idea of finding you, right? Man, get off the fucking trends and bandwagons of everybody else. Everybody jumps on a trend and bandwagon every other week now. It used to be longer than that, but social media is just, things are so old so quickly. Stop jumping on bandwagons and trends. Walk your own path. Carve that out. You don't need to know what you want to do today. You need to know where you're going today and what you're accomplishing. Stop trying to win the life game and just try to win the day. One day at a time. Don't try to go out here, you want to be a millionaire, right? Cool. Buy, win, how old, what age, what does it take to do to become a millionaire? Okay? Now we reverse engineer that. And we just try to break it down to the day, maybe even half a day, maybe even for some of you like the hour. But try to win the day. Try to just do what you need to do by adding deposits to that life goal piggy bank, or to that personal goal savings account, whatever that looks like. Just try to win the day. Stop trying to go after the big jump. It doesn't work like that. Under no circumstances can you go out here and just all of a sudden hit it big and become successful without hard work. You look at the Paul brothers. I don't agree with Jake and Logan Paul and a lot of things. One thing we all can agree, they're very successful. They're very consistent. They're very intelligent when it comes to marketing and so forth. They've made a lot of money by staying consistent. There was a lot of years that they were doing so many things before they became big, before you heard about them, and they just kept doing it over and over again by winning the day, and it pays off big. One thing that's never gonna fail you is investing in yourself and hard work. Another thing, all right? Stop fucking making excuses. I got my FYE shirt on. Fuck your excuses, right? I got that from Apex. This mastermind I'm a part of with Ryan Stewman. We adopted it over at the Maryland, Delaware group of Brandon Brittingham's team. We adopted it over at my gym, SBY. And it's the truest thing. I got it tatted on my arm to remind me, fuck my excuses. This ain't for you, it's for me. Everybody makes excuses. Everybody's got an example of how they don't want to do the work, or how they don't want to show up, or how things are hard. Fuck your excuses. Stop making fucking excuses. You're making so many excuses, you don't even realize you're making excuses because you're conditioned to constantly put something in front of why you didn't complete something, finish something, start something, hold up your end of the bargain or your word. Stop making fucking excuses, dude. Excuses get you nowhere. Accountability, self-responsibility. And here's the other side. There's a lot of people that say, hey, that was on me, my fault, and repeat the same mistake. Don't fucking take accountability for something and then turn around and make the same mistake over. Learn from your mistakes, correct and move forward without making fucking the same type of mistakes and type of issues that you made in the first place, and make sure you do better the next time around so that you don't look stupid with egg on your face 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row, and you lose credibility for so many people that are out here looking up to you, listening to you, hiring you, respecting you, whatever. Lead by serving. Okay? Lead by serving people. It's the oldest way of becoming a leader. Servitude. Serve everyone you possibly can. Don't serve to a fault. Don't be the little old man that sits here and, he does everything for everybody and leaves himself short, pours from an empty cup, and always gets ripped off. Don't be a fucking idiot, right? Use your best judgment. You're probably going to rip off. You're probably going to have bad deals. You're probably going to have things that just not go well. People aren't going to reciprocate the same as you. However, you shake 100 hands, you help 100 people, one person might help you in return. 1,000, 10. The numbers are very, very lopsided. Don't do it for the thought process of getting something in return. Do it because it's the right thing. But when you lead by serving, right? Jesus washed the feet of his own disciples. Back in that days, that was a low fucking grade thing to do, is wash somebody's feet. Remember, they had sandals. Who knows what them feet smelled and looked like, right? It was a very low level thing to wash people's feet. The King of Kings, per the Bible, he washed the feet of his disciples. He understood what leadership looked like, right? He understood wherever you believe in. However, it is accounted that Jesus was a person, and it's accounted that he did these things, right? Lead by serving. Serve everyone you possibly can and help as many people as you possibly can. Just don't do it from an empty cup. Make sure you're pouring from a full cup. Do the work, man. Do the work. Just do the work, regardless of your excuse, regardless of the circumstance. If you promise to do something, follow through. Don't sit here and just partially do the job. Don't sit here and do it and be late. Don't sit here and overpromise and underdeliver. Always overdeliver and underpromise. It goes so far. And your name is everything nowadays, right? Yeah, we live in a society where we can apologize, but guess what? Not everybody forgives you, okay? You fuck over enough people, not everybody's going to forgive you on that. Not everybody's going to say, hey, I know you said sorry the last 3 people, but I'm going to be the 4th idiot and let you take advantage of me and not honor your word. Don't do that. Do the work. No matter what, do the fucking job that's required and go above and beyond. Hard work will pay off forever. Hard work goes unnoticed for so long, right? The next thing. It should always be team, family, friends, loved ones, people. It should always be team before me. You should always put other people first. Put them on a pedestal. Raise them up. Build them up. Even if you're better than them. Stop talking about your fucking self. Talk about your people. Talk about the people that you're associated with. Talk about the people you care about. Talk about the people that you love. Talk about the people you want to do business with. Man, we need to start building up our fellow man. We need to start building up each other and talking them up. There's so many great things that happen from that. One, you look like such a great human being by not talking about your fucking self like everybody wants to do, and by building up other people around you. The other thing is, when somebody hears somebody building them up, when I hear somebody say something about me in high regards, that pushes me to sit here and live up to that verbiage, live up to that myth, or that whatever you want to say. English is hard for me today. But when I hear somebody talk about me in a way that is in high regards of something I do, how I act, that puts a level of accountability on me to say, you know what, I want to live up to that people are talking about me. I want to live up to that standard. And it looks really good on you when you're talking about others instead of trying to sell us on you. One of the best sales pitches is talking about other people, talking about your team, talking about your family member, talking about your friends. So many of you dudes want to fucking fuck your homeboy's girlfriend and bash somebody. Or a lot of y'all want to go get a woman and you want to bash everybody else and tell everybody else how they're this, that, and the third. Dude, talk people up. You'd be surprised the power of that. You'd be surprised the power of what that does for you. Another thing is, earn the right to win for your family. You don't just get a trophy because you have fucking kids and a wife. You don't just get a trophy because you're the boss. You don't just get a trophy because you started a business. You have to earn this motherfucking shit, man. You have to earn the right to win. And that should be the people you care about the most, because at the end of the day, it's only your family that's going to matter. And I don't just mean your blood family. I mean your family of choice. I mean the people that you care about, that you consider family, that are there, that are in your inner sphere. Earn the right to win for them. You earn the right to win for your family by all those things that I just said, and then some. You have to go above and beyond in everything that you do. You don't need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, man. You don't always have to have the right answer. There's actually a lot of power in saying, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. There's actually a lot of power in vulnerability. But earning the right to win for your family, man, going above and beyond to try to become something greater than yourself, you will never know what doors and what opportunities will open for you. You'll never know what's there for you. You'll never see it until you start doing the work, and then opportunities will start popping up. Doors will start opening. People will start coming into your place. They'll track what you're doing and they'll be attracted to you because of your energy, because of what you're bringing. And these people that will come into your life will bring value to you, will bring value to your life, will bring value to what you're trying to do, trying to accomplish. You see, so many people are trying to find relationships and they don't understand how to build relationships. You bring value to a relationship. So when people that do understand that, they're not going to come in here with their hand out. They're going to come in here with their hands full saying, this is for you. This is what I got for you. This is how I want to add value to your life. I'm leading by serving. I'm helping you. I'm giving with nothing expected in return. And if I get something in return, it's a blessing, because I live by that cardinal rule. There's a couple of things that you can do in your life and understand that the secret to success, my friends, my men out there, this can go for women too, but we're talking to men today. The secret to success is showing up every single day. No matter if you don't want to, no matter how tired you are, how sick you are, no matter what happened. And I don't mean showing up necessarily physically at a job. I mean showing up, being the best version of yourself every single day, even in your worst moments. Showing up for others, showing up for yourself, showing up for your dreams, your commitments, showing up every day. Show up every single day and don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit on what you're going after and what you're trying to do, or who you're trying to become, or who you're fighting for, or what it is you're trying to achieve. Don't quit. You do that, success is guaranteed. Those are the two things. That's it. Show up every day and don't quit. You can add things like consistency. You can add things like hard work. You can add things like, getting up before everybody, leaving after everybody. You can do all those things. But if you just show up every single day and you don't quit, you're guaranteed success. Success and entrepreneurship and ownership and family and all that is about how much pain a man can endure. See, men, we're meant to suffer. You have this false misconception to think that you're not meant to suffer. We're meant to suffer. We're meant to go through hell. We're not meant for happiness. We're not meant for emotional, enjoyment and fulfillment. That comes with a lot of suffering and a lot of pain. That comes from you putting other people's feet first. I know a lot of men out there. I'm friends with a lot of men out there that are in a lot of pain every single day. Physical pain. I'm in physical pain every day. I could talk about all my pain every day. I could talk about the losses that I've had. I've had a hard year. I've had a hard life. I could talk about that all day long. I don't talk about that because that's a part of who I am. That's what builds character. That's what builds grit. That's what gives me fulfillment, because when I see my wife and my kids and my grandkids and my family and my organization, my people, when I see them smiling, when I see them happy, when I know that because I hurt, they don't. You seen the memes, my hands look like these, so hers don't. When I see them happy and fulfilled, I don't give a fuck about no pain. I don't give a fuck about no suffrage. You fucking kidding me? When I know there's other people out there suffering way worse than I am and in way more pain than me and happy and content and still putting on for their families, I don't give a fuck about no pain. Life ain't fair, motherfuckers. I don't want nothing fair. Who's trying to have fair? When was it fair? When was growing up in the neighborhood for you fair? When was your dad or your mom not loving you fair? When was fucking the disadvantage of you being dyslexic or having these learning abilities? When was that all that fucking fair? There's no such thing as fucking fair. You go out here and you go get yours. But life is about how much pain you can endure and keep pushing and keep succeeding. This doesn't mean that you're not due some joy in your life. And it's not saying you're not due some happiness, and you need to work on your feelings, and you need to look at them and process them, and you need, yes, all of that. I'm not saying, this is just nothing but, banging on a steel anvil. No. What I'm saying is stop worrying about your fucking little enjoyments and guilty pleasures and how things are fair and how your feelings. Fuck your fucking feelings. 2025, baby. Couple of things I've got going for this year. Get down or lay down. You're either going to get down or you're going to lay down. I'm taking it old school. You're going to get down with me or you're going to lay down. You're either going to get down with our business, you're going to lay down. You're either going to get down with our movement, you're going to lay down. You're going to get down here with our core values and our standard, or you're going to lay down. No more of this fucking who's trying to, all this. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. Get down and lay down. Second thing is fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. Enough feelings. Feelings have caused more problems than solutions. We're here for solutions. We'll honor our feelings. My trauma response people, we'll process them. We'll get through them. We won't let them bull up and explode in the end. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is fuck your feelings. Go after solutions. Go after these core values I just explained to you and these options to become a man. Do the work. Go out here and be a leader. Go out here and earn the right to win for your family. Fuck your excuses. Go out here and be who you're destined to be and stop looking at every fucking example around you as they're trying to tell you how to do things. You know, motherfucker. You know, and if you don't know, call me. Message me. Holler at me. Comment. I firmly believe, and I'll end it with this. I think we all can agree that life has just been weird for the past 10 years or so. Just been weird. It's been just weird. Things have been weird. It's been weird. And I'm in a room with a lot of different high-performing entrepreneurs very often. And I talk to a lot of different successful people and moderately successful people that are on the quest for success. And it's all the same story, man. Everybody just sees that things are weird. And there's a lot of people out here that, if you want to put politics into it, they have a lot of views on the right that make sense to them and a lot of views on the left that make sense to them. But they're not the far right, they're not the far left, and there's just a lot of things that make sense, but because they're in the middle and unrepresented doesn't get elected, unrepresented doesn't make no money. So we're all kind of in this weird, frustrated self part where we're like, you know what, nobody's here to represent us. So these high-performing entrepreneurs and these people that just love people and love business and love growing have now started focusing, and they don't want to say too much like me and get themselves canceled or say too much stuff out there to get themselves having attention to their families or themselves. So they just say, you know what, I'm going to govern my own household. And I'm going to focus on us, and we're just going to do us and do us. And I firmly believe this. I firmly believe that a lot of us that feel this way and are focused on that, we're gonna foster leaders that they're going to write history books on. Men and women that they're going to write history books about, like we read about when we were coming up. I believe that I would love to tell you it's going to be me. It ain't going to be me. I'm too attached to the old way and the new way, and it's not going to be me. It's not going to be people our age. It's going to be these kids. It's going to be these children coming up that see through all the silly shit, see through all the bullshit. And I firmly believe that it's going to be us that are going to foster these and nurture these impactful leaders that are maybe not fix things, but are going to get stuff back to order, going to get stuff down to where it should be, make more sense of this common sense that's been thrown out of the window, make more sense of all this wackiness. And I think that they're going to write fucking history books about these kids. And I think it's up to us right now, people who listen to this podcast, people that are understanding what I'm talking about. It's up to us to be the best example as a man and a woman that we possibly could be, so that we can foster these relationships and not give them our baggage, not give them our bullshit, and not skew their fucking ways of seeing things, so they can go out here and they can fucking fix things for us. It's up to us. So if you get anything from this, whether you agree or disagree, just know that it's the next generation to come. These kids, my son, my grandbabies, it's our kids that are coming up that are going to be the ones that are going to be taking care of us, making decisions, and changing the world and getting things back the way it should be. Every decision, every example, every single day that you try to win matters to them. It matters to how you see it. And if you don't have kids, you're still an example to them. You're still an example to somebody. Every day matters. And it's important that you fucking max out on your day every single day, and that you make sure that you deliver everything on your promises that you can be, to be this man that you hear and you want to see and you've always wished you could be. You be real. You be authentic. And if you have hard times doing that, reach out and ask for help. Don't be so fucking pig-headed. Stop being a bitch. Be a man. If you guys got value from this, please share this with somebody. Let them hear it. Like it. Subscribe to the channels. Pass along. Share it. Please. Anything. I ask that of you. All our content's free. Everything we do, I pay for this stuff. I pay for this to happen. I want to give value to my fellow men, to my fellow people, individuals, everyone. If you get value from this, please share it. I thank you guys for listening to the special event. I wish you guys a blessed 2025. We'll probably be in 2025 when you guys hear it, but I wish you a blessed. Go out here and go to work. What are you doing today to become a champion?